Can everything around us be a spear shaker? Which means for me a something that can manipulate the will or the freedom or the sovereignty that you have as a entity. And I think from the get-go, soon you are born, this begins to happen, because soon you are born, you are placed, you are a number. Now you can say, well, you speaking on some concentration camp terms or some shit like that. I don't know. Well, the planet, which is a divine goddess by the name of Gaia, one of her names, another name being Taweret, Tiwawat, Tiamat, is the earth is a divine goddess, literally. If you talk to one flower or one tree, then that is an aspect of the divine goddess, you know what I'm saying? And these trees are symbolical all over the world and representing points of connection to some type of higher, not a scolding, but like a higher aspect of, you come to me, you want answers, I will give them to you, and it's gonna shake you. It's gonna shake you. It's gonna shake your soul. It's gonna put you in shape, your spiritual aspect. And like the tree in the Garden of Eden, right? The tree in the Garden of Eden, and like I say, every tree is a symbol of a divine, godly figure. Okay, I'm going to say motherly, but I'm not holding that to, I'm not setting that in stone. But I know that the serpent energy in the tree is feminine. Not only that, I had been reading a book called Nega Magic, Wisdom of the Serpent Lords, and there's one aspect of creating a particular space form outside, and I had chose a particular tree to do this, but I was like, I need stones, and I would like to create like a little canal right here, and that canal itself represent the serpent energy. But I got it in my vision, but I'm just not back there. I'm not hoeing any dirt. I'm not making any holes. I'm not, it's not my property in the first damn place. But nothing is set in stone is what I'm saying. It's all in my vision. It's all in my mind. I go back there right now and I look and I see the water. I see the stones by the tree and I hear the water and I know that there's a serpent energy back there because I opened it up, I opened it up. But, like I said, I did not create it in the physical reality, But what's strange is what I did do is I went beside my house and got a bunch of like stones and rocks and cement blocks for the damn trash because the possums kept coming in and getting into the trash at night. And I had seen the path that they created going into the bushes. And of course, a path is basically a ley line. Energy mechanism, and they follow the path. The path is another symbol for the serpent. So it's almost as if, okay, I didn't set up the altar in the backyard in the physical reality, but what ended up happening is the energy ended up trying to turning itself around because I was having, my son kept having to pick up trash, just everywhere in the backyard, and the trash. And when I got more stuff to cover the trash up with and things like that and keep the trash standing up so the opossums would knock them over, whatever. It has worked ever since. I mean, We have not yet had any trash out yet in the grass yet. And so what seemed to happen was, of course, that is trash. It's nasty trash, nasty shit. It's disposable shit. So it's almost as if, okay, I still got you. You know what I mean? Like, unbeknownst to me, I was needing stones to put back there, but I felt like those stones were not good enough for the altar that I wanted to create outside. You know, I didn't want any, cement blocks that were chopped up from a foundation of a house. You see what I'm saying? The energy in that house, who knows? Now, at the end of the day, I just got a vision. The next door neighbor who used to live here when my mother was little, they were Japanese. So we know that the Japanese are very entwined with the dragon spirituality, and the dragon is the nega serpent. And so it all connects. So it's just strange shit. It's almost as if like the nega had been with me this whole damn time. The whole time, it somehow just tapped into him, because I was studying the DNA in the first place, in the Hermetic code in DNA. So when I studied the Hermetic code in DNA, and then the Hermetica, you know what I mean, by Timothy Freak, right, and another guy, Peter Gandy, I think, and combining all this together, it's just amazing. You can combine it even with the Mayan calendars and things like that. I mean, it's all connected. The Pleiadian cycles, there's 7 stars in that cycle. You know what I'm saying? So, according to Hunbatsman, a book, Hunbatsman is a mysterious author, the 8 calendars of the Maya. 8 calendars. Remember I told you about the 7 and the 1, or the 7 tones plus the 1. There's the 8. They have Venus calendars as well. They had a man. If I get into the book, I'll probably be able to tell you how many calendars they had. The book is right beside me, but it might just take some time to just look at that. You know what I'm saying? But just to give you a quick aspect, page 51 of the book, the 8 calendars of the Maya, the Pleiadian cycles, and the key to destiny by Hunbatsman. Quetzalcoatl, or Quetzalcoatl. There's a temple he shows in figure 3-3 here. Father, Son, Quetzalcoatl, at the sacred pyramidal temple of Quetzalcoatl. Father, Son, like I said, I'm going to be saying it right. Father, Son was worshipped as the bearer of life. As I noted in my book, Secrets of Mayan Science / Religion, the secret. Now, before I continue, I do know that the Rosicrucians, the Rothschilds, the American elite secret societies and such, they were studying, still study the Mayan calendars, especially the one pertaining to the planet Venus. As I noted in my book, Secrets of Mayan Science Religion, the secret of Mayan Science / Religion, the secret or inner meaning of Quetzalcoatl, which I find extremely strange, because the Spaniards utilized this prophecy to take over the Mayan society, killed hundreds of thousands of them, and gave them mad diseases and stuff. There's documentaries on this, especially on Montezuma. He's the reason for it, and at least one of the main reasons for it. That in the Mayan language, Quetzalcoatl. Now, remember what I told you: the Rosicrucians, the the Rothschilds, the Rothschilds who basically create chaos to bring about the order. They're the ones who do that shit. And then think about what I'm about to say. In the Mayan language, the word Quetzalcoatl is Kulkulkan, or Kulkulkan. This is an accent mark over the A. Now, that's very strange. Ku Klux Klan. You know what I mean? The Ku Klux Klan. Kulkulkan. You see? That's almost like Mahatma. And the Muslim joint represented a Christian, but actually, when you say it fast enough, you get Muhammad. Hamnaha. Muhammad and shit. I think Q-Tip did that one of them albums or something. I don't know, but it's there. You can just study that, Google that. So that's strange. But anyway, going on. The meaning of this is one who not only knows the 7 psycho-spiritual forces that govern our bodies, but let me start over. The secret or inner meaning of Quetzalcoatl, which means Kukulkan in the Mayan language, is one who not only knows the 7 psycho-spiritual forces that govern our bodies, but who also uses them and understands their intimate relationship with natural and cosmic laws. You have to understand this, man. You have to understand. See, this is technology. See, in the book Muata Ashby about called the Tree of Life, the Kemetic Tree of Life, he tell you that the word that the obelisk, the Tekanu, is basically a spiritual technology. I like to say it's like pineal gland technology, and that the word Tekanu or Tekanu is similar to technology. Techno is techno, Tekanu, technology, the study of techno, the study of technology. Tekanu is the literal name of the place where the Binbin is. The Tekanu. Let's see what I'm gonna do. I want to find something to read about the Tekanu, and then we'll go back to the Kukulkan, aka Quetzalcoatl, understanding the 7 psycho-spiritual forces. Because the 7 psycho-spiritual forces is what my Muata Ashby calls the 7 chakras as well in his Tree of Life, Kemetic Tree of Life book. And the diagram that I have had up most of the time we've been in this house is called the Tree of Life of Anunian Theology, Theology. Okay, study of God, or study of Atum, or study of Anu. And the obelisk, which the Benu, or the primordial point, begins in Tekanu. It's called the Tekanu. See, the obelisk itself is called Tekanu. See? And it is the Tekanu of Anu. Because the Tekanu, which is hieroglyphed as an obelisk, goes on to be obelisk that does not no longer have the pyramidion on top of it, as in the Benu, but the symbol that looks like a cross on top of it, and the pot for Nu, as in Anu. So Tekanu almost literally spells that what Tekanu actually is. Tekanu is Anu. You see what I'm saying? And the Binbin is of Tekanu. The Binbin is the primordial stuff that the Tekanu of Anu is being fashioned with and brings forth what we know of as creation. The 4 parts of it, the Anu, the Duat, the Pet, and the Ta. The Duat realm, the Pet realm, the heavenly realm. Above them all is the realm of Anu. Above all of them is the realm of the Nun, or the primordial waters. Right? So, the Tekanu is the obelisk. Give me a second, I'll come back and read something on that. Okay, I was looking for something real quick. This is the preface of the book, The Kemetic Tree of Life by Dr. Muata Ashby. One of the greatest books I've ever read. This is the preface, part of the preface, the ancient Egyptian origin and mystery of the spiritual tree. Because the Jews and things, and the Hebrews and things like that will have it, that hey, it was not derived from Kemet or Egypt or whatever. We started this as a Jewish mysticism known as Kabbalah, and that's just not true. The idea of having direct access to God through spiritual knowledge, such as Kabbalism, was already evident in the teachings of the ancient Kemites. He's saying the ancient Egyptians, so I'll just use what he's saying. The Christian mystics, who are the Gnostics, the Hindu and the Buddhists, who all came long before the Kabbalists. Okay? In ancient Egypt, however, the teaching of the Tree of Life took on special meaning. which it took on a special meaning in a lot of, even the Yggdrasil tree in the Norse mythology and stuff. In its earliest city of Anu, and the tree, in its earliest form, originated in ancient Egypt. It was related to theological religious system developed in the ancient Egyptian city of Anu. Anu is the Greek Hierapolis, I believe. It's the Greek city of the sun. That's what Anu is. And the tree was seen as the source of life. Okay, the tree was seen as the source of life. And remember what I was saying about Quetzalcoatl just now. Okay, who was basically another Buddha, or another King Tut, if you believe that he was part of knowing that too, like a Jesus or whatever. Another Krishna, okay, Balarama, Shingo, okay, all came before the Kabbalists, okay. In its earliest form, it was related, okay, it was seen as a source of life, and it was the goddess as the divinity being worshipped. Now, I just was telling you as well that the tree resonates with the goddess. Even till today, it resonates with the goddess. Okay? And the Kundalini energy is within the tree. And as the divinity being worshipped, who extended the nectar of life itself through the tree. The nectar of life through the tree. This idea of a nectar of life is also evident in Christian traditions, known as the tree upon which Jesus was crucified. Also, the cross of Jesus is often referred to as a tree of life. In present day practice, the Christmas tree was originally supposed to be a manifestation of the same idea. The star at the top of the Christmas tree was supposed to symbolize the attainment of cosmic Christ consciousness. And take all this, study the word Kadesh, Indus Kush, the Kadesh, the star at the top of the Christmas tree. Okay. Let me see here. Athena with hat on head has flame on top. See Divine Sophia. Athena is the spear shaker, y'all. That's my whole thing that I'm trying to get to. Athena is the spear shaker. The spear is in the tree, or of the tree. In ancient Egyptian spirituality, there is a concept called Shit in Ankh, or Chit, or Het in Ankh. Het in Ankh. Okay, means staff of life. Okay, now remember Tahuti. Food stuff from wood. Okay, this is like the mana that they talk about. Vegetation, sustenance from the tree, etc. It relates to the sustenance. It is also related to the jet pillar of Asar, who is symbolized by a tree trunk. The jet pillar is made out of wood and contains Asar's body. Think of Gilgamesh going to the top of the mountain for the cedar, the cedar tree, to battle Hunbaba, I think that was the name, which when planted in the ground brings forth food crops, but which also represents the spiritual and mystical essence of a human being and of God. Okay. Let's see here. Do I need to read that? My whole thing was to talk about the Tek Anu, literally to read it out the book for you. The tree goddess is the divinity goddess of wisdom who lives in the tree and extends its bounty of the spiritual aspirant. Okay, Nut. Okay, it symbolizes the goddess in general, but the goddess Nut and Heru, or goddess Nut and Heru in particular, as the compassionate, life-giving female divine essence. The goddess sustains as a mother looking after her children, nurturing them with physical and spiritual sustenance. Her children are represented within you as the 7 chakras. Okay. And when their time is up on earth, she reaches down and lifts them up to the heavens like a hand. Okay. He has an image here. He shows all these images relating to the same image. The ancient Egyptian tree of life of the goddess, Christian tree of life, the Buddhist tree of life, Christian Christmas tree, the Caduceus of Jehuti, who was Hermes, the psycho-spiritual energy centers of serpent power yoga in ancient Egypt and India, Now we also know, as well as in the Maya or the Olmec or the Toltec cultures. This is talking about the jet pillar. Let's see. Duat astral plane. Okay. Siket Aru. Awaken. The jet symbolizes the awakened human soul that is well established or steadfast or stable in the knowledge of the self that is enlightened. That is enlightened. Okay. I am Jeti, child of Jeti, conceived and born in the region of Jeddu. Alright. The Kabbalah, Hasidism, Chitat Necharu. Let's see. Real quick, page 18 of the same book. The Netaru, cosmic forces symbolized as gods and goddess principles. These Netaru represent the natural forces, but also the energies that go to compose the human personality. Alright? Thus allowing a practitioner to connect from the human to the divine and beyond. This is where all the astrology and things like that come from, the planets and all that. In addition to the Netarian realms, the system includes the spheres of the psychospiritual consciousness centers of the serpent power, known as Chakras and Kundalini, respectively, in Indian mysticism. Now, remember what I said about Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl means the feathered serpent, okay? The feathered serpent. I just read in the book the 8 calendars of the Maya that Quetzalcoatl was aware of the psycho-spiritual centers, okay? And his name meant, which his name in mining was Kulkokin. His name represented the fact that he knew about the 7 psycho-spiritual forces that govern our bodies, but who also uses them and understands their intimate relationship with natural and cosmic laws. The cosmic law is referring to Ma'at. That's, I'm telling you, how Quetzalcoatl or Quetzalcoatl represents that, or the knowledge of that. And that's what all the teachers around the world in the past and in the ancient mysticism, ancient texts were teaching. You know what I mean? The Hindu Vedanta and the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita and things like that on Brahma, Para-Brahman, Vishnu and things like that. It's very vast information. I advise you to get into the Hindu system, studying it. So I just wanted to read that to you real quick. Okay. Let's see. The mysteries of the ancient Egyptian city of Anu from around 5000 BC are considered to be the oldest exposition of the ancient Egyptian teachings of creation. They formed a foundation for the unfoldment of the teachings of mystical spirituality which followed in the mysteries of the city of Men-Nefer through the god Ptah, and the mysteries of Nut, Waset or Thebes through the god Amun. Now, the mysteries of Nut, N-E-W-T has it in here, Waset of Thebes through the god Amun, which means hidden one. Mysteries of Nut, the black goddess. That's who the black goddess is in the book. What is it called? That I just bought, and all kind of shit didn't happen since. Prince dying, Fife Dog dying, Brussels, fucking all kind of shit. Just, Steve Kirk. Black Goddess and the Unseen Real, Our Unconscious Senses and Their Uncommon Sense by Peter Redgrove. He talks about all of the information and how these senses have been demonized. They have been black. They've been titled black. That's why they got the black magic and all this stuff going on. And there's a book called The Mark of the Beast by Ravencroft and Wallace Murphy. Those are the last names. It's called the book The Mark of the Beast. Okay, and on the cover of the book, published by Weiser Group, on the cover of the book it has it has a sphere first of all and the 4 horsemen, but the subtitle, The Continuing Story of the Spear of Destiny. I have not read that, but I read this whole book because was listening to a lecture by Bobby Hemmett And things just started coming to me, man. And, you know, unless you get rid of your fear shit, man, you're not going to go want to get books like this, The Mark of the Beast. You see what I'm saying? Like David Wilcox tell you, the mark of the beast is the calcified pineal gland. Because it's the mark of the beast is on the forehead. It's either going to be on the forehead or marked on the hand, because representing the taking in of the calcified material world. You know what I'm saying? Handiwork of the material world. So the mark of the beast, the continuing story of the spear of destiny, is very decent when you resonate that with the spear shaking of Athena, and then the Francis Bacon spiritual system, and how they was all entwined with that. How Athena is really the black goddess, right? How there's a whole book called Black Athena. How the first Greeks were actually Trusian and they were actually black. There's all kind of artifacts on that. All kind of artifacts with Black Hercules and shit. And, you know, then Francis Bacon create an actor. Yes, William Shakespeare did not exist. They want you to say he did. William Shakespeare, who was an illiterate person, is illiterate as Abraham, who did not exist. They want to say he did. Now, when we're dealing with Athena and the spear shaker, we're dealing with Abraham and God telling him to go do this and go do that, right? We're dealing with the matriarch to the patriarch. You're being told by the divine mother, then you're being told by the divine father. But this divine father thing is a corruption because of the patriarchal system that was going on in those times, wanting to, you know, being obsessed with power. That's why Egypt fell and shit like that. Being obsessed with power and shit. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm trying to say. You become a walking Quetzalcoatl, okay? When you understand that within you, it's amazing what's coming out, and I'm feeling shit when it's coming out. You know, Jacob's ladder and shit, man. The spear of destiny, which ancient Canaanites had gods and goddesses for destiny and reincarnation and things. The spear of destiny is the jet pillar, because the spear of destiny represents the awakening soul. The destiny for the soul is to awaken in the material world, to bring forth the psycho-spiritual forces in this world, to express it and to build it. And that's what the whole 2012 was all about, because all the planets align, they say, in front of the black hole, apparently, or the dark rift of the divine mother, and therefore they all became centerized, and this energy came through, and everybody started having visions, and people start, you know, having deceased relatives visiting them in their dreams and things like that. And I can attest to this. Okay. Then there's a book called the Angel and the Abyss by J.D. Gunther, who was part of the OTO and the AA, and which was one of the AA symbols anciently was Apollo and Athena. You see, Apollo and Athena. And Athena has this, she has a helmet and a spear. The helmet is there with the flame on top of her helmet to represent the pineal gland, the will of the divine mother, or the will of the divine father, or the androgynous will. You know what I mean? I.e., as manifested as Hermes Trismegistus, who was more than likely Metatron. See? It's so much with that. It's so much with that. This is what they don't want to be tapped and for you to wake up, because everybody gonna be everybody gonna be Jodie Foster in contact. The Hebrew shit don't have nothing to do with a religion, with a people. The Hebrew thing was misconstrued when the Sumerians and things like that combined it. The Hebrew is really the same, because that's why it's all dealing with the Abrahamic religions. We're dealing with Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is Zeus. Jupiter is Ayupiter, Ayupita, right? Saturn is Kronos. Saturn is Sebek Basra. Sebek Basra represents the body of those 7 psycho-spiritual centers as a god, right? So this would represent that divine will of the Father. You see what I'm saying? it was, okay, here it is right here. The spheres have been compared to ancient Egyptian serpent power, mysticism, Sefik Ba Ra, and, or you say Bas as in plural for the souls, and the chakras of Indian Kundalini Yoga. Okay. The meditations of these centers produce a similar mystical movement of energy, light and heat, in the subtle body of a human being, which leads to greater experience of the divine. When this form of ecstasy occurs, it is called Shefa, which means divine influx. Influx, divine influx, not subjective outer flux, divine influx. Think about the flux capacitor in the Back to the Future movies. That's the only way that they were able to traverse the time. They were able to time travel. And when you read the book by Fred Allen Wolf, I think, called Yoga and Time Travel, you know what I mean? Connect all of these dots, my beautiful black, white, yellow, green, purple, orange, indigo people, whatever you want to call yourself, man. Just connect the dots. Just connect the dots. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's all there. There's a book called The Return of the Divine Sophia. This is happening now. It's just going on right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just a beautiful damn thing. This divine influx, yo. And then the flux capacitor in the Back to the Future was looked like a triangle with one at the top. It was three organs, and I in a split second said, man, that's the doggone pineal gland, pituitary gland, and either the hypothalamus or the parathyroid and thyroid glands. And this is the connection on how to resonate and get to higher forms of reality, utilizing the pineal gland as what the Melchizedekians will call the Merkaba ship, right? The Merkaba. Okay. It's just crazy. I was trying to look for the book, Yoga and Time Travel, because I do have that book. I have not delved into it as much yet. I don't see it. I can't find my book, Yoga and Time Travel by Fred Allen Wolf. I don't know where it's at. I do have the Search for Other Worlds, Parallel Universes, and I do have the Spiritual Universe by Fred Allen Wolf. And I guarantee you he does talk about it in these books, but I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to get into that right now. But there is a divine goddess form on the cover of that book, Yoga and Time Travel. And Back to the Future is filled with symbologies on that. As a matter of fact, the clock tower is flanked by two lions, which represent the Akr of the ancient Kemites, which meant yesterday and tomorrow, who combined are Rahurakti or Herukuti. So yeah, that's beautiful too. Let me see. There's a book called The Great Shift that you should check out on how they, basically talking about what's going on now. There's a book called Kundalini and the Chakras you should check out. The Shamanic Wisdom in the Pyramid Text is just the most amazing shit I've ever read in my life by Jeremy Nadler. And the Endocrinology and Criminology by Samuel Anwar will blow you away. To tell you what's going on with that, see, the spirit shakers are the ones who are controlling the destinies of people, because if they know the science of the cosmic laws and how they resonate with the psycho-spiritual centers of the human body, which are the churches, the 7 churches of Revelations, then they get into you to help manipulate the reality that they want to create, and you help build their reality. And this is dealing with some heavy shit. That's the real black magic. When you have forces who are like basically outside of you, who are doing all kind of shit, from subliminal messaging, flickering of television, chemtrails in the sky, fluoride in the water to calcify the pineal gland, and all kind of food and shit to fuck up your endocrine glands, to block you from becoming Quetzalcoatl, becoming the serpent in the skies. There's a book by John Anthony West, The High Wisdom of Ancient Egypt, the serpent in the sky. So you don't ever say that Quetzalcoatl was the first serpent in the sky, or whatever, or that he was white, like Vera Kalash, and it was this, you know, whatever, man, whatever. Here it is by Fred Allen Wolf, The Yoga of Time Travel. Now remember, yoga means union in Sanskrit, and union was small tawi or tawi in ancient Kemet, and this was the dealing and working with the 7 cycle spiritual centers. See what I'm saying? So it says, The Yoga of Time Travel, How the Mind Can Defeat Time. It was a book of the year by Forward Magazine, an award winner, which is, they have 4 A's as a cross that they use as a symbol. Written by Fred Anthony Wolf, National Book Award winner, Taking the Quantum Leap. There's a couple things that I bookmarked in here, but let's see. Experiencing beyond space-time. It is possible to step outside the limits of space-time. If space-time is a metaphor, or if it is unreal, it must be possible. Ancient wisdom suggests that neither time nor space is real, nor are they separable from the ego or I-ness. Well, let me pause real quick right there, because this resonates with a book that I just read called The Omniverse by a dude by, his name is, Weber? Something Weber, The Omniverse. Published by Barron Company. He talks about how Barack Obama and them, especially Barack Obama, will say, Barack Obama and about 3 others been time traveling. Him personally, Barry Soderell, Barack Obama, since he was 19. And then you listen to a lecture by David Wilcox on the pineal gland, talking about Montauk and the chair, connecting that with the movie Contact, showing you the technology being used to get into that dream state, to visit other realities. You know what I'm saying? To traverse the time. Contact, one of the best movies ever fucking created, yo. Ever fucking, when you conscious like this and you understand what's going on, it's one of the best damn movies ever created. But they speak on a level of physical, meaning that there's a place in somewhere that's gonna send you sit in a chair in an underground base, military base. Things happen around you, and then all of a sudden you are teleported to a place known as it's somewhere on Mars. You know, it's a place on Mars. So they saying that's what they was doing for a long time. The book is called The Omniverse, Transdimensional Intelligence, Time Travel, the Afterlife, and the Secret Colony on Mars by Alfred Lambermont Weber. Let me see. He talks about shamanism and encounters on page 97. Remote viewing, he talks about that on page 103. Remember remote viewing. Uri Geller, who was one of Michael Jackson's favorite friends, who says that Michael's plane was supposedly terrorized. There was a terror attack assumption going on during the fact, because Michael was his best man at his wedding. Michael also performed a couple of days before 9/11. He did 2 shows, I think, in New York City, 30th anniversary. Project Bluebeam, Non-Local Communication with Spirit, page 124. There's so much in this book, I don't even know where I would tell you to begin. To you know, souls and dreams, dream implanting, because he's using a book, The Destiny of Souls. There's a guy who wrote a book called The Destiny of Souls. He's using that as well. Tachyon Energy, he talked about that within here. Let's see, page 124, Non-Local Communication with Spirit. Let me see. Yeah, it was called the CIA Jump Room Program. Okay, Obama as a time travel pre-identified CIA asset. And that's very strange too, because the person who basically got him in the White House, Zabriskie, who has disappeared, worked with Osama bin Laden in the CIA in the damn 80s. And this person, whistleblower Bernard Mendez, detailed testimony that he not only participated from 80 to 83 in the CIA jump room program with Barack Obama, but also engaged Barack Obama in jump room experiments. You know what I mean? Like literally talking to him. Said he was 19 years old, and the shit was highly classified. And he was and has been a lifelong CIA asset and operative, meaning that the president, your current president, is a CIA. That's what he's saying. He's saying that there's evidence that Obama was part of a secret teleportation jump room program using great extraterrestrial technology to reach SQE's destinations architected by great extraterrestrials. When I say that, think about the corkscrew construction that was being used in the movie Dark City. How that was a complete manipulation. You know what I'm saying? And the cities and the memories and shit were being taken from you, and the shit wasn't real and shit. It's just a lot of information. Just watch that movie Dark City. And how they put everybody to sleep and created the city, and you woke up and shit, and then you had the city going on. It's a lot of information on that. You know what I mean? So just letting you know that that's there. Okay? And that, the yoga time travel shit by Fred Allen Wolf, who is PhD, shit just don't come out of nowhere, man. I mean, so let's continue with this section, page 52 of the book, The Yoga of Time Travel, and then I'm going to close it out. If space-time is a metaphor, or if it is unreal, it must be possible as far as traveling through space-time. Ancient wisdom suggests this, that space and time is not real, and nor are they separable from the ego or I sense. Ancient text, I is represented as the pillar. Ancient text asks us to explore these questions and answers. If we are nothing but our bodies, and the world we perceive is nothing more than what our body-mind complex tells us, then it seems we are embedded in time and space. But is this the case? Our senses may try to convince us that we are the same as our bodies at all times and in all places, but if time and space do not exist apart from the sense of I, then the sages tell us we are a part of some magnificent reality that transcends time and space. And that's the thing about what's going on today. We're calling it an ascension, but really what's going on is the conscious awareness of transcendence. As in the movie by Johnny Depp, Lucy, the movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson. How can time and space be projections of the mind, coming into existence subjectively along with the ego, a notion that flies in the face of our experience of them as objective realities embedded out there, independent of mind? Consider the example of deep sleep or dreamless sleep, a state that dream researchers say we pass into before we begin to dream. A state that dream researchers say we pass into. Other words, we cross over. The river Styx, okay? Into before we begin to dream. In deep sleep, the ego disappears. We have no sense of who we are. The ancient text points out that when a king is asleep, he forgets he is a king. When a beggar sleeps, he forgets he is a beggar. In this state, there is no experience of time or space. The ego is not present to create it. When we dream, we do experience a dream landscape composed of time and space. We also experience a dream ego, the one who is experiencing the dream. The dream seems real to us when we are in it, but it's clear to us on waking that the dream landscape was created by our minds. When we awake, we also sense an ego. This time identifying with our physical body, experiencing I am the body. We also experience time and space and locate our body in it. But who is it to say that the objective walking reality we experience daily is not a form of collective dreaming? What does it mean if time is just a mental construct, i.e. construction, mental construction? If time is not ultimately real, then certainly there is no real past, nor future, nor even the present, nor can anything like a creation of the world have actually occurred, which the ancient texts tell you that it hasn't and it doesn't, and nothing really has occurred. Similarly, if space is an illusion, then the distinction between inside and outside, without which the world cannot be an objective reality, also becomes unreal. And then all the multitudinous limitations which have always appeared to pertain must also be illusory. For example, we feel separate from our fellow creatures, but if space is an illusion, this separation or this separateness must not really be true. See? Then he goes on to a section called Masters of Time and Space. I'm not going to get into it because I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, this all resonates with the same shit I'm telling you about. Quetzalcoatl and all these people. So, in the Stellar movie, Matthew McConaughey, he is a Quetzalcoatl. All the planets that they go to is in reference to air, fire, earth, and water, or different phases of water. Because the water represents the area around the pineal gland, which is the key to all of this. Okay? And until you cross over into these other dimensions and things like that, or at least become aware of it, because we all actually do this, then you cannot call yourself a Hebrew. You cannot say that Nibiru has returned. Nibiru is Jupiter, y'all. It's not the planet that Nibiru represents the planet of the crossings. The crossings. Those who have crossed over, the Hebrew. The fool who has crossed from one dimension to the other in a foolish attempt to experience what? You know? So, and then hence we have the spirit shakers and this illusionary reality who are controlling the pineal gland body, illuminating it only to give you delusions when you are already the illuminated one in the beginning, in the beginning of it anyway. Okay, you are on the boat of a million years. You are Ra. You are units of all of this. Okay. So the Sefer Yetzirah, or Kabbalistic book of creation, you can align that shit with the Sefik Ba Ra, the seven souls of Ra. And, you know, it's just so much information, man. The psycho-spiritual journey through the principles of creation. This is what I call the excursion. According to the teachings of Kemetian or Kemetan mysticism, every human being is on a psycho-spiritual journey. This is the boat of Ra. This is the boat of millions of years that the 9 deities are on, along with you, traversing these experiences of life that you have to or are conscious or are on another level wanting to go through. Trying to discover happiness, peace, and fulfillment. See, in order to successfully complete the journey, which is creation, is a myth, right? So this is the journey, and this is the journey of life. Okay, and I'm quoting here: everyone needs to evolve spiritually to do this. Therefore, the characters of the ancient Egyptian myth of creation and their various forms of interaction with each other are in reality an elaborate mystic code relating to the areas of human consciousness that need to be developed for spiritual growth to occur. The characters in the myth of creation, who are these cosmic principles, they are only brought forth as a teaching, as characters, to teach you in a elaborate mystic code. You know, like the Dogon, you know what I mean? And see, back to the Spirit Destiny real quick, right? Listen. The first thing, this is page 20 of the book, The Kemetic Tree of Life. The first thing that is noticed when the deities of the ancient Egyptian creation, based on the teachings of Anu, are placed in a hierarchical fashion according to the order of their creation, is that they arise in accordance with their level of density. Okay, think about the word density. think about the word destiny, spelt with the same shit. Density, destiny. Density, we're dealing with higher to lower vibrations of the chakras into physical reality. Destiny, we're dealing with the chakras, the lion on the jet pillar, this represented as a spear, the triangle at the top, which looks like a flint, or the arrow itself, the piercing part itself. The piercing part itself is the piercer, is the pineal gland body, is the monad, is the 3-in-1. Destiny here refers to their order of subtlety of the or density of the elements of creation. Ra is the first principle to emerge out of the primordial waters. He is the subtle singular principle of creation, the focus of oneness in time and space, the unit. The primeval ocean itself transcends time and space and is beyond existence and non-existence. Ra is the first principle to emerge out of that, out of the absolute, as Ra-Tem or Ra-Temu. His emergence signifies the beginning of existence. This Ra-Temu is Ra-Atem or Atum. Okay? There it is. On that note, I'm going to leave y'all and say that the tree of life is rooted in spirit. Ashe.